So the score as they go to the locker rooms, Stansel takes his club off, and there go the Jets. It is the New York Jets 13 and the New Orleans Saints 7. So we'll be back along CBS right after this message. Scores, give me all the scores. Scores. Give me all the scores. All right. Patriots, they'll win easy. They will. This guy's a player of the year. What lineup are you going in the scores? Yeah? You have all the scores? Give me the order you're going to give them in. You got the order of the scores? They don't have them. They don't have them. Just tell me. I got all the individual sheets. Oh, here we are. All right. Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right, I got that one. Okay. Yeah, I got the sheet. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it here. I got it. Okay. What do you want me to do next? All right. San Francisco and Atlanta. All right. Wait a minute. That's second. Buffalo, New England is... Where's Buffalo, New England? Here we are. All right, that's the next one. Buffalo, New England. That's after Atlanta and San Francisco. Put it in there. Then we need Houston and Green Bay. Houston and Green Bay. That's the next one. Houston and Green Bay. Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Kansas City and Pittsburgh after Houston and Green Bay. Cincinnati and Chicago. Cleveland and Minnesota. Cleveland, Minnesota. Saints and the Jets. We already have that one. All right. There we go. That's it.
Minnesota, you at the half?
Hello, truck. What do we do then? Yeah, we got 9 minutes. Anything to eat? Any coffee? Any coffee? All right. All right, here's our score at halftime at Shea Stadium. New Orleans took the ball and drove down the field. Their first possession, 14-yard pass of Manning to Holmes, capped it off. The Jets came back to score, running the ball, then 2 field goals by Lay, and that's been it. 13-7, the Jets leading at halftime. Let's check some of the other scores today around the National Football League. And they have a real defensive struggle going on there. The Eagles and the Cardinals, no score at the half. Remember, the Eagles are tied with the Cowboys, 11 wins and 3 losses. The Eagles lose today, then they'd have to beat the Cowboys in Dallas to tie for the crown. If the Eagles win and the Cowboys win, then they'd have to beat the Cowboys anywhere. Either club would be the winner there for that division. Now, Atlanta and the 49ers, that's 7-0 at halftime. Bartowski scored on a 1-yard run. In that game, if Atlanta wins, they clinch not only the Western Division title, but a home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Atlanta, which I think has been the real surprise team of the league this year, along with the Buffalo Bills. Speaking of Buffalo, let's see what they've done. There they are. They're trailing New England. A desperation game for New England. They won 8 and lost 6, while Buffalo's 10-4. New England must win this game today, and then hope that Buffalo loses their last game to tie Buffalo for the crown. A 9-yard run by Vegas Ferguson, and a pass of Kavanaugh to Russ Francis, the New England scoring. Joe Ferguson is out of the game with a badly sprained ankle. Joe Ferguson is out of that game for the Bills. All right, the Oilers and the Packers, another tough defensive game. And have you noticed here in the final stretch of the season how matters have toughened up in attempting to score when the playoffs are involved? Houston and Green Bay, it is 6-3 at halftime. The Oilers a game behind the Cleveland Browns. Kansas City and Pittsburgh, another low-scoring game. Pittsburgh 7, Kansas City 3. Bradshaw passed to Lynn Swann in the first period. A 30-yard field goal by Nick Lowry for Kansas City in the second quarter. Bengals and the Bears. That's at the end of the first period. A 1-yard run by fullback Pete Johnson. He was out about 3 games. Since he's come back, the Bengals have not lost, and he's been picking up some valuable yardage. 7-0, the Bengals over the Bears, who in their last 2 games have been very impressive. And our last score, this is a game that Minnesota needed. Minnesota, in their division, has won 8 and lost 6. The Lions are 7-7. If Minnesota loses and the Lions win today, then they would be tied. But at the halftime, Minnesota is losing to the Cleveland Browns 13-0. And of course, a victory for the Browns is going to gain them at least a tie for their divisional title. And our score here at halftime at Shea Stadium is 13-7 in favor of the Jets. Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station. What, 2 bites?
Yeah.
Some hot coffee. Any hot coffee?
What? Yeah. To Holmes? Yeah. Watch it. Get out of the way. Yeah, this is it. It was back in the pocket, and Holmes tips it and then catches it. Yeah. You going to play that back? When? That wasn't the point after. That's a field goal. That's a field goal attempt. What?
No.
There were 2 field goals and a touchdown. Yeah. When are you going to do that? When? All right.
Here at halftime, we're waiting for the teams to come out. Let's take a look, Hank, at the New Orleans touchdown. And they scored this one in the first period on their opening drive.
Well, here you see Archie Manning going back into the pocket. It's an option pattern with Jack Holmes, either going inside or outside, depending on the way the linebacker played. He took, of course, inside. The ball was a little high. He tipped it, had the presence and the concentration to maintain possession of the ball, goes into the end zone for the touchdown, and the New Orleans Saints go ahead 7-0 at that stage of the game.
Yes, and how the Jets shut them down in the second period. The Saints did not get into New York territory in the second quarter.
Well, it's tough. You know, the tough thing, as I mentioned earlier, the thing that has plagued really the New Orleans Saints most of the season is the fact that you just cannot throw the ball 40, 45 times every week and expect to win. You have to have a good complementary personality from a running standpoint. They haven't been able to run that well, and anytime you can't run or stop the run, boy, you're in trouble, Kurt.
Winning can draw attention, and so can losing. Remember the long losing streak the Tampa Bay Bucks. Everybody around the country now is asking the question, can the Saints win a game before the season's over? We'll talk about that when we come back. But right now, with a score 13-7 New York, let's take this time.
We coming back again, Kurt?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. It'll warm you up.
Third camera, the old cowboy. The old cowboy.
Ferguson's out with a sprained ankle. Turnover.
Are we going to be on camera? Huh? We're all through? Okay.
Let's take a look at the halftime stats.
First downs, New York's got 11, and the Saints have 6. From a total standpoint, yards passing, the Saints have 74 to 48. But look at the dramatic difference in rushing, 104 to 26, and look at in the time, Jets have it for 20 minutes and 24 seconds, and the Saints 9 minutes and 36 seconds. And, of course, that's what the Jets want. They want to keep the ball away from the New Orleans Saints because they're such an explosive team on offense.
They have not been explosive, though, in the second period. We'll see if they can get their offense going again. There have been 2 turnovers in the game. They've been by the Jets on 2 pass interceptions by the Saints. And there's been only 1 sack of a quarterback, and that's been recorded by Klecko of the New York Jets, the defensive right end.
You know, one other observation, Kurt, the Saints have really not had very good field position. They got it initially on the 21, then they've had it on the 17, their own 20 and 29, and they haven't had a lot of working room, and for that reason they haven't been as explosive as they normally would be had they had better field position.
There's a squibbler. Wayne Wilson picks it up, comes up to the 30, 35, 37 or 8-yard line, and this will give them fairly decent field position now. Every time they receive the kickoff, we have a flag down on the play. In the second quarter, they were starting possession in back of their own 20-yard line. This is going to be a foul against the Saints, which won't help their field position.
No, so they'll wind up in a soup again and will not have a very good field position to initiate this drive.
Put it back on the 22. This may be a personal foul. Unnecessary roughness.
Well, the last time he was in this position, he started the drive with a pass. See if he does here.
All right, the Saints with a first down. Wind sweeping around. Look at the paper rolling on the field. Make a passing game tough. Jack Holmes, the fullback, gets the call on the first play of the third period. A yard or 2 at the most for him. The Saints will have the first pick of the draft in the next NFL draft. They have 2 number 2s, one from San Diego in the Muncie deal. They will have 2 number 3s. They have 11 picks in the first 6 rounds. Linka is out, and Lance Mel is in as middle linebacker for the Jets. Manning on a play-action pass. A short flip is out to Holmes. Holmes fights his way to his 33-yard line. He's stopped there by number 38, Darrell Ray, who Walt Michaels said, the rookie of Oklahoma, voted a decade of the 70s as an all-time Sooner defensive back, belongs on the All-Pro rookie defensive team.
You know, Jack Holmes that time did a good job of running once he made the reception. He was headed for the sideline, and he wouldn't have made the first down except that he suddenly realized where he was, headed upfield, and got the yardage. It was necessary.
New Orleans on their 33, first down. He flares it out. It's an incomplete pass. And that was Holmes sliding off to his left to try and catch it. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Saints.
Jimmy Rogers was really wide open over the middle, too. Both backs were involved in the pattern. Jimmy Rogers coming across the middle and was very open on the play, as was Jack Holmes.
Somebody there, and they have that heater, portable heater on the sideline. I remember doing a game here when Oakland played the Jets for a championship, that Oakland brought a heating unit and screened off their entire bench. Made a tent along the sideline. Didn't help them. They lost the game.
4-man rush. There's a... Whoop!
Jimmy Rogers can't handle the ball. Now it's 3rd and 10 for the Saints. Look at the papers on the field to show you the velocity of the wind and how they blow in all different directions. Nobody can really tell by looking at the flags on top of the stadium where the wind is coming from.
You know, and that ball was thrown right out in front of Rogers, but by the time he made the adjustment to try to catch the ball, the wind blew it behind him, and he couldn't make the play. That's really what took place.
That doesn't look like much wind, but the flag is at half-mast today in honor of John Lennon. As you get up at top of the stadium, you can see him, but you watch the playing field, and you'll see how the wind is. 3rd and 10 for New Orleans from their 33.
No blitz, 4-man rush.
He shoots a pass to Chandler. First down. Chandler's very dangerous after he catches the ball, but Jesse Johnson was right on him, and the Saints, for the first time since the first period, are in Jet territory.
Well, they've got the win now, and they're going to take advantage of it by throwing the ball very well, but there's still just a four-man rush. They're not putting much pressure at all on Archie Manning. They kept it back in to help on the protection. He has plenty of time, throws the ball beautifully right into the middle area. Wesley Walker, Wes Chandler goes across the middle and makes the catch, and they get a first down.
Bill Barnes, our producer, just checked with the Weather Bureau. The wind outside the stadium, 35 miles an hour. Fake play action coming up. It is complete to the 30 and knocked down to the 28. Again, it's Wes Chandler. And Greg Buttle slammed him to the turf.
Did you see the way Archie Manning threw that ball? He threw it falling away, sidearm, just to get rid of it. He saw Chandler open. Watch this. Play action pass. Watch him. Watch him. Falling away, threw it from the hip. Got it right on target. And Greg Buttle, number 51, really gives him a shot as he made the catch.
Who says you have to have that beautiful overhead delivery?
That's right. It doesn't make any difference as long as it gets where it's supposed to be.
All right, he sends Chandler to the left. First down, Saints on the Jet 28. 13-7, the Jets ahead early in the third period. Saints on the march.
Draw play.
Draw play to Tony Galbraith, who just entered the lineup. And he's to the 24 of the Jets, where he met Joe Klecko, the right end, and Mark Gastineau, the left end, as they pinched him there. He gained 4. It'll be second down and 6 to go for the Saints. Now they're in the third quarter, and still no score, the Cards and the Eagles. I remarked, Hank, reading the scores off at halftime, that low scoring is marked some of these games the last couple, 3 weeks. The defense is getting tough when these playoff times are arriving.
Well, not only that, but the weather is difficult, too, in some places, and that doesn't encourage scoring very often either.
Second down, 6 for the Saints. They protect him. He throws, and it is incomplete to Ike Harris. Ike Harris, number 82. It'll be third down and 6 for the Saints. He was already squeezed against the sideline.
Yeah, Bobby Jackson did a good job on coverage that time. Number 40, he ran a deep sideline pattern. Went straight down the field, tried to get Jackson to turn his knees to the inside of the field and then break out. But Jackson did a good job of covering and responding on the play.
Tom Donovan, a third wide receiver, a rookie of Penn State's on the field. 3rd and 6. Saints ball. 24.5-yard line of the Jets.
They might try to do something with Childs here. Blitz.
He throws it, and it is incomplete. Wait a minute, Harris catch it? He got it.
No, he caught the ball.
He caught that ball. Thought he might have slithered out of his control, but he's down with it. Also, we have a flag on the play. A completion to Ike Harris.
Looked like it was against the Jets.
Illegal contact, number 40 on the defense. Offensive pass interference, number 40 on the offense.
Oh, a double dipper. One on each side.
Offensive pass interference and an illegal chuck offsetting each other. So they bring the play back.
Boy, what a great throw again that was by Archie Manning. The blitz was coming. Watch Archie go back. He's got linebackers coming in his face. Watch the safety man, 28, coming in there too. He got rid of the ball right on the numbers. How he did it, I don't know, but it's a beautiful throw by Archie Manning and a great catch also by Ike Harris.
So we still have a third down and 6. The Saints just over the Jet 25, 13-7, the Jets ahead.
Here they come again.
Blitzing him, he lobs it deep down the field. Child is broken up in the end zone by Tim Maresco, 37. Maresco breaks it up, intended for Henry Child.
And Archie just threw it up there. He knew he wasn't going to have much time. There was severe pressure coming inside. Watch the pressure. There's 51, Buttle blitzing on the play. Got to Archie Manning right after he got rid of the ball. And Maresco really does a great job of responding to the highly thrown ball.
4th-year player from Syracuse.
Watch the penetration. Gastineau is putting pressure on the right tackle. And, of course, Buttle gets good penetration.
Here's a 42-yard field goal attempt by Ricardo, and the kick is wide to the right. He had the leg, but booted it to the right. So the Jets stopped the Saints. Jets will put the ball back and play in their own territory with a score. The New York Jets 13 and New Orleans Saints 7. Out of Texas Tech. In the third quarter, James Hadnot just drove over 3 yards for a touchdown, and it's 10-7, the Chiefs over the Steelers.
Something left perhaps here. Here it comes.
That's Newton, 25-30. Out of bounds on his 34.5. A run that could be close to the first down.
Well, they really got around the outside in good shape that time. Number 56 is caught on the inside. Good blocking by Durking. Tommy Myers comes from the inside, tries to make the tackle and misses. 59, the linebacker on the play, also misses, and Chuck Evans, and he makes a nice gain on the play and a first down.
Newton's having a big day, 67 yards for him.
Something right here. Excuse me, Kurt.
It's all right, Jets under 35. Between his right guard and tackle goes Tom Newton. He has been the main load today running that ball. The Jets are trying to establish. He now has his 15th carry of the game. And it's obvious the Jets are trying to establish that running game to control the clock.
Yeah, and they want to keep it away from the Saints, as I mentioned earlier. And Newton is really a sledgehammer back. He's 6 foot 213, 4-year pro from California. Played in the same backfield with Chuck Muncie.
Cards and Eagles, no score in the third. Lamb Jones in motion. Got Durking. He has the first down with the 46. Remember, in the first half, there were 20 minutes and some seconds possession time for the Jets and only 9 minutes and some for the Saints. Now the 49ers and the Falcons are 7-3 in the third. Two low-scoring games. Look at that. The Patriots pouring it on Buffalo, 21-0. They drive their fans absolutely up the wall.
Yeah, you talk about a stock market team. They really won, aren't they?
First down, Jets on their 46. Stay right on the ground and plowing Tom Newton into Saint territory before Derlin Moore takes him there.
And the tough thing for the Saints is that if they maintain a lot of possession time in this drive, they're going to wind up having the wind in the fourth quarter. Talking about the New York Jets and the way the ball has to be thrown by the New Orleans Saints, is going to be very difficult for them to play catch-up football thrown in this severe wind.
2nd and 4. The Jets on the Saint 48. Jets are leading 13-7 in the third quarter.
Something left again, it looks like, Kurt.
9 minutes to play. Left they go. Newton chipped off one tackler and picks up the first down. This is just good old grinding football.
They're tough in the trenches. The line is getting a good takeoff, controlling the line of scrimmage. Never any mystery to why you make yardage or why the ball carriers are doing a good job of running the football. It has to start with the people up front, and that's exactly what's happening at this stage of the game. The Jets are getting off the ball and controlling the line of scrimmage.
They started this drive on their 25. They have not tossed a pass. It's all been running. They're now on the St. 42 with a first down. And they're running again. And burrowing his way is Newton. Newton over his right guard, following Dan Alexander and Marvin Powell. Tommy Hart made the stop. It's on the 39-yard line of the Saints. 2nd and 7 coming for the Jets.
They're playing move the chain football, and that's what it's all about.
Now we're 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Walt Michaels, hand stuffed in his pocket. The hole open momentarily for Scott Dierking. He's taken by Lois Groom, 78. Not much on that one as they plugged it up. It is on the 38-yard line of the Saints. And Bruce Harper, the third down pass receiver, comes in with a 3rd and 6 for New York. There are the conversions on 3rd down. 3rd and 6 for the Jets. Saints 38.
We might see a pass to the back or the tight end to where the coverage is. There's the back.
And he hung on to it. It's where he caught the ball. His Harper was hit from behind by Don Schwartz. He may have the first down. The official calls time of the measure.
A good play. There's the rush. A front four rushing. He's got enough time to throw the ball. Harper makes the catch. Tackled by Schwartz, but they're going to measure now for the first down. It's going to be very close. Inches short.
They are inches short. 4th down and inches. Both teams gambled on 4th down plays in the first half. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. All they want to win. The two teams with the worst records in pro football battling here at Shea Stadium.
Somebody will go in motion this time. They got a full house backfield. Somebody will move probably. Here they go.
That's Newton moving. Kevin Long's in there with him.
They're going to run left, it looks like.
He runs off left tackle. That's Kevin Long for a first down. Long, number 33. They insert him for short yardage situation. And he had to be taken to the secondary by Don Schwartz. Now the ball's on the 26-yard line of the Saints.
Here we see the surge. The lead back, Dierking, goes through the hole. Didn't touch anybody, didn't make any kind of contact. But in spite of that, Kevin Long popped through there and made the necessary yardage for the first down. It's hard to go through all that traffic and not hit anybody, but Dierking was able to do that.
Yeah. First down. 6:11 to go in the quarter. 13-7. New York leading New Orleans. And the Saints can't get their hand on the ball. Scott Dierking. Dierking still going over the 20. He just picked up those feet, had quick feet that time as he picked his way along. Elois Groom dropped him at the... Well, they're going to spot him and say he went down on the 20.
Don Schwartz that time, the safety man, 48, had a piece of him, but slowed him down a little bit, but not enough. And he still made yardage on the play.
Second down, 4.5 to go. The Jets just short of the Saint 20.
They're going to run left again, it looks like, if they run.
Left they come. That's Newton. Newton. His forward progress stopped at the 16-yard line. Ray Brown and Chuck Evans. Evans, the linebacker. Ray Brown, the safety man. And the Jets continue to blow that Saint line out of there.
Yeah, they're coming off the ball very well at this stage, and of course they're playing, you know, the flex defense, and they have a lineman off the line of scrimmage, and that encourages the run, and they're doing a good job of knocking them off the ball right now.
They've had this ball from their own 25 to the Saint 16. Have thrown only one pass. Newton now has 70 or 91 yards. Tom Newton.
Here they come left again, I'm sure.
That's Kevin Long trying to twist his way to the 15.
That's really not a very good way to run a short yardage play. Kevin Long was kind of tentative on the play, didn't make a decision, took a little time getting into the hole, and for that reason, it's a little closer than it should be. Did he make the first down?
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think he did. I think he would have had he stuck his head in there in shoulder pads and got the yardage.
And that's the 11th play on this drive. The Jets are really eating this clock up in the game. They had over double the possession time in the first half and the same in the second half. All right, 4th and a yard to go.
Probably right this time, or up the middle. Fumble.
And I believe the Saints recover. Clock scrambling back for the ball. Dave Washington, number 55 on it. The Jets are stopped. Scott Derking, and he lost the ball.
And really, the exchange between the quarterback and the back was very poor. Todd never had possession.
One of the many Toys for Tots collection barrels in the tri-state area. For further information, contact the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve. This afternoon, a grand total of 9,000 toys were collected for needy children. Thank you.
Reports from the New Orleans bench. Tommy Myers has an injured knee. He will not return. Wes Chandler has a bad hand, and he won't be back in. The Saints have the ball on their 22-yard line with a first down. And the pass is complete to Galbraith, who drives to the 31 of the Saints. Tony Galbraith picked up there by Ron Crosby. The best defense for the Jets has been a time-eating offense. They just had that ball for 13 plays, and the Saint offense had to sit helplessly on the sideline.
But it's really murder when you have it that long and you don't generate any points. You got to be productive, and that could come back to haunt the New York Jets because, again, the Saints are very capable of scoring a lot of points.
Second down, a yard to go for New Orleans. They're trailing 13-7. There's a first down. Breaking away is Jack Holmes. And Holmes is dropped at the 49-yard line, or maybe the 48 of the Saints. Bobby Jackson. 17-yard run for Jack Holmes, number 45.
He ran it right up the middle. Watch you see the blocking at the point of attack. Good cave in. The right tackle, Stan Brock, does an excellent job of blocking down. Holmes does the rest. Number 86 downfield, trying to get a good block for him, Tom Donovan.
Donovan's in there replacing Wes Chandler. First down play of pass is completed to Henry Childs, a tight end. He has a first down. He's to the 39.5-yard line. Stan Blicka, the middle linebacker of the Jets, stopped Henry Childs. And the Saints are on the move.
The only time they've really done a good job of controlling the offense of the Saints really is when they put a little pressure on Archie Manning. They did some blitzing, and they wait a long time before they do that. They usually wait until they're down in the area about the 20-yard line before they start blitzing. Let's see when they started here.
New Orleans on the Jet 40, first down. Manning looks them over, out to Holmes. Holmes is hit by Blicka, strikes away, still going to the 36-yard line. Got away, and Greg Buttle finally made the stop on Jack Holmes.
Ron Crosby, number 55, really had a beautiful shot, and he just missed him in the open field.
All right, now the Saints are on the 32-yard line of the Jets. Second down and 2. 1 minute 15 to play in the quarter. Here's throw. Out it goes. He's dropped to the 22-yard line. Ike Harris had it. Now, wait a minute. They say one official's called it an incomplete pass and the other a completed pass. Looked like he dropped it from here.
One is calling one thing. They're bringing does a lot of funny things, and you might wonder why some of the catches look like they might be awkward, but they are only because of the way the wind has taken the ball.
Chiefs move ahead 16-7 over the Steelers. Third down, 2 to go for the Saints on the Jet 32. A quick pass is complete to Childs, a tight end for a first down. New Orleans on the New York 22, first down. Tim Maresco had to wrap Childs up. We're under a minute to play in the third quarter.
You know, they're using a slot to the left, which means they have two outside receivers on the left side, and then they split Henry Childs, and he's one-on-one on Maresco, number 37, and he's hard to cover for a strong safety one-on-one. I'm talking about Henry Childs.
All right, Manning going to work with his club. Galbraith in the backfield with Holmes. Flag is down. Galbraith has it, spins away to the 20, still going to the 15. Excellent running. 15-yard line is as far as he goes. Marty Lyons refused any more yardage. A flag was dropped at the snap of the ball.
Galbraith has tremendous feet. Hard to tackle one-on-one.
Offside New Orleans. That will wipe out that game.
I think Tom Donovan was lined up offside, number 86. Here's the play. Archie going back in the pocket. Gastineau rushing from the outside. Licks Brock, the young offensive tackle.
Neat running here, Hank.
Oh, he's a tremendous runner. He felt the pressure coming from the outside, ducked inside, and he's very, very hard to tackle in the open field.
Number 86 on the offense, lined up offside. First down.
That was it. And we have a 1st and 15 for the Saints on the Jet 27. We're in the last 27 seconds. There's a time of possession now. New Orleans coming up a bit on them. But still, the Jets have had the ball 11 minutes and 8 seconds more in the game.
If they don't get something with the wind, it's going to be difficult to do it into the wind with some kind of a kick. Screen left.
There it goes to Galbraith. 30, 25, steer roaring. 20, 15, 10. And there'll be a 1st and goal to go. Donald Dykes, the right cornerback, had to take him inside the 10. Another twisting run after the catch by Galbraith.
You know, I'm surprised they didn't call a timeout to make sure that they would have something with the wind, but they didn't. And now they're going to be going into the wind.
And there's the gun. Pardon me, there's the gun ending the third period with the score. The New York Jets 13 and the New Orleans Saints 7. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I said that already. I got him in there, but thanks for Buttle. Guy's doing a good job. There's a score, 13-7. And we'll be back at Shea Stadium for the start of the fourth quarter. Right after this message with New Orleans threatening to score. Hey, Bill, have you got the number of that Scripps limo in case I change my mind? All right, thank you. All right. Thanks,
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah. Quiet. You're going to what? Oh, yeah.
Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram, fourth period. The Saints have a first and goal to go, 6.5 yards away.
There's a goal line. They have to touch the plane or cross it. 7 yards for the New Orleans Saints.
They have a split backfield. Manning at quarterback.
They got a bump and run on the outside. He might have tried to throw the ball on top. Draw play.
Draw play to Galbraith. Galbraith fights his way to the 1. Looked like he would get absolutely nothing out of that. Then Tony Galbraith went to the 1, maybe the 1.5, where they put him down. Second and goal to go for New Orleans.
You know, Kurt, the great runners stretch the 2 and 3 yard gains into 5 and 6 yard gains, 7 and 8 yard gains, and that's the kind of a runner Tony Galbraith is. He's got the great capacity to stretch the average gains into bigger ones.
Watching him here, it's hard to understand why he hasn't been playing all year.
Yeah, it really is hard to understand.
Second down, goal to go for New Orleans.
Something right.
There is Galbraith. Touchdown! Tony Galbraith scores. And the Saints have tied the Jets. An extra point can put them up in front. That was a great drive that was engineered. They started on their own 22. They went 78 yards as Manning took them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays.
There you see a good surge by the offensive line. Galbraith tries to go over the top, but crosses the plane and in for the touchdown.
Benny Ricardo has been good for 26 out of 29 points. His kick is up, and it is good, and New Orleans has the lead, 14-13. Now, can they hold on? Can they win their first game of the season? And while they talk it over, we'll leave Shea Stadium, then we'll be back. 14-13, Saints go ahead. Galbraith looks like compared to those other 2 guys. Come on.
Right.
I mean, just a few plays he played here.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Anybody got a match? Time remaining. A long way to go. 1 point lead for the Saints. They blew a 28-point lead at halftime last week. That has to. Both teams have been desperate all year. When you're losing, you get that way instead of a relaxed club.
And of course, the bad thing about it is when you get in that situation, you keep relating to what happened the week before, and you wait for something to happen. When you do that, it usually does happen. It's always bad.
That's Mickey Schuler, the tight end, returning the kickoff for the Jets. Put them up over their 40-yard line. Ricardo, who did the kick, sort of squibbed it downfield. The tackle was made by Larry Hardy for the Saints. Jets ball, first down on their 44. Richard Todd, play action pass. Throwing the ball deep. He's out there. He's got it. Touchdown. Touchdown to Wesley Walker. He'll just fly right by you. Wesley Walker goes right by everybody. And the Saint lead didn't last long.
David Weimer
Wait a
and
minute.
Marshall.
Flag down, Hank.
He ran right between Marshall and Weimer, and the ball was delivered perfectly, but there's a penalty seemingly on the play.
State players are clapping their hands. Wesley Walker has the best average per catch. This will be the first penalty against the Jets in the game in the top.
Illegal motion, number 72 on the offense.
That's on Chris Ward, Hank, the left tackle.
Well, that's unbelievable on a play-action pass. If anything, you want to make sure you're staying there tight and do a good job of acting to make sure it looks like the run. Why he would be offside on that kind of a play is hard to understand, but he was. Something left.
On 1st and 15, Newton drives ahead to his 45.5. He's hit there by James Marshall, the left cornerback. So, the 56-yard play to Walker, who's averaged better than 20 yards a catch in his career, nullified.
You know, the amazing thing, Kurt, he was double covered and ran right between both of them and scored the touchdown, but of course it was called back.
He could really fly.
Watch the left tackle. There you are.
Yeah.
Chris Ward, 72, left prematurely, and that was a penalty.
Second down, 9. Todd throws. It is nearly intercepted by Don Swartz, 48. Todd threw it right in his hand, but high.
Tommy Hart got good pressure that time. And Derlin Moore also got good pressure. Schwartz almost came up with the interception.
3rd and 9 for the Jets. 3 turnovers against the Jets in the game. New Orleans has not turned the ball over. The Saints have gone ahead 14-13. 13 minutes and 12 seconds to play.
There's the back.
Now Todd running out, takes off at the 50, going first down. Todd runs for the first down to the 43-yard line of the Saints. Don Swart and Dave Washington had to team up to take him.
Todd really did a great job. He knew exactly where he had to go, and when he spotted the extra distance, put his head down, used his shoulder pads. Watch him. Here he comes up the middle, got the ball tucked away nicely, goes straight up the field, and knows what he has to do, makes the first down, and they have possession again, 1st and 10.
Draw play to Newton. He struggles to the 41. He gained 2 yards. He's now 1 yard short of a 100-yard running game. I don't believe he's ever had a 100-yard running game in the pros.
Well, he's been very impressive, as we talked about on several occasions here. And, of course, he's a nice size back, 6 foot even, 213, 4-year pro from the University of California.
You always did like those big bull elephants out there, didn't you?
Oh, they're...
Huh?
The big, strong ones are always more impressive than the little slow ones.
2nd and 8. The pitch is to Newton. Nearly bobbled it away, but hangs on, is still going, and he may have a first down. Newton is over 100 yards in this game. Marshall fought him for 3 or 4 yards and then dragged him to the turf.
It's really frustrating, I know, from an offensive viewpoint, talking about the New Orleans Saints to score as many points and do as many things offensively, and then wind up giving away points as easily as they get them, talking about the opposition.
Hank Newton now has 108 yards unofficially rushing, his first 100-yard game. Now the Jets have a first down. They're on the 31-yard line of the Saints. The Saints have just taken the lead 14-13. Jets had a touchdown pass called back on a penalty, and they're going to work again.
Something right if they run.
Play action pass. They're after him. They sack him. First sack of the game. Tommy Hart, the old veteran, comes in. That's the first sack that the Saints have turned in, and it came at an opportune time for him.
It was a play action pass to the right side, but he didn't see the pressure coming from the backside. Hart really does a good job. Tommy Hart, number 53, getting penetration, sacking a quarterback.
Attention, please. Will Fort Dix Choral Choir please return to the front?
There we see it again. There you see Hart, 53. After faking to the back to the right and trying to throw a play-action pass.
Second down, 18. Jets on the 40-yard line of New Orleans. Newton, 35. And he's down to the 32. He made the 8 yards back. He now has 116. The only other 100-yard game this year for the Jets was Kevin Long against Atlanta. The Jets beat Atlanta, you know, for one of their only 3 losses this year. Third down. 10 to go.
Todd calls his own plays, Kurt, and so does Archie Manning, which is unusual because about 21 of the 28 teams in the National Football League send the plays in from the sideline.
The Saint fan made a point to me, Hank, that I want to talk about when we get a chance, about Manning calling his own plays.
Well, that middle is really open.
Rush on him. He gets away. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10. He scores. Richard Todd scores on a 32-yard run.
You know, I didn't know he could run that well, very frankly.
He really took off.
He took it off, and the nice thing about it was he saw some daylight and put his nose toward the goalpost and goal line and went in there for the touchdown. Boy, what a great effort on the part of Richard Todd. Here you see it. Fultz, they got a game. Derlin Moore going outside. Fultz gets caught up in the traffic. There you see Todd change the ball. Watch him heading for the goal line. Washington, number 55, is in hot pursuit, and he bulls his way over into the end zone for the touchdown. Beautiful play by Richard Todd.
Looked like Joe Kapp at the goal line.
Yes, he did.
Here's the kick. It is up, and it is good. Now the Jets come back. That's the longest run from scrimmage this year for the Jets. Richard Todd is their breakaway runner. He had 24 yards the longest previously, and then one for 32. As you watch the play unfold, we'll return to Shea Stadium after this word from your local station. No tackling in that second there. They just looked at him. Huh?
Yep.
Nobody quick there and move and pounce on him. Yeah. Okay. That's in New York. Thank you, Billy. You're doing a good job today, Bill, with 2 Polaroids. Atlanta putting it on him now. 81. This guy's caught a lot of victims. Dick Stanfill, the temporary head coach of New Orleans, has just seen his 1-point lead go. There are 9 minutes and 39 seconds remaining as the Jets kick off. 20-14 New York. Wayne Wilson picks the bounding ball up in the 13, comes to the 20, up to the 25, and to the 27-yard line. An update on other scores. Atlanta now has increased its lead over the 49ers, 21-3. It looks like they're going to win their divisional title and play a home game in Atlanta in the first round of the playoffs as of the wild card. Minnesota's fighting back at 16-9 now. Cleveland over the Vikings. The Eagles got ahead of the Cards 10-0 in the fourth. Kansas City and Pittsburgh 16-14 Kansas City in the fourth. First down for the Saints from their 27. Jack Holmes, the fullback, trying to get outside, and he picks up a couple of 3 yards. New England 21, Buffalo 2. That's in the early in the fourth period, and Cincinnati leading the Bears 14-7 in the second.
I understand Buffalo lost Ferguson in the game.
They lost him with a badly sprained ankle. May not help them for next week, a game they'll have to win.
Look at the total offense. New York 272, New Orleans 241. Pretty good balance.
Second down 8. Saints from their 29. There goes Galbraith breaking away. First down. Oh, it's impressive. Saints ball on the Saint 38.
Guarantee you there are not many better backs in the league than Tony Galbraith.
Now you say he's not fast, Hank?
Well, he's not. He doesn't have blazing speed, but he has such great feet and such excellent quickness and receiving ability. Plus, he's instinctively very intelligent from a running standpoint. He just does things automatically, which is so important. He's just a natural runner. Be great from the I formation, tailback in the I formation.
Out of motion is Ike Harris. Wes Chandler's through for the day with an injured hand. They're chasing him in. They set the screen up to Childs. Tight end screen. Childs tripped up. An excellent play by linebacker Lance Mell, number 56. Henry Childs appeared to be going somewhere, and then suddenly it was all over, and only a 2-yard gain.
You're right, Kurt. Lance Mell really made a beautiful play. It looked like he was going to make a lot more yardage on that play than he actually did.
Chandler just come back in the game now. Second down 8. Walt, we're with you. Win or tie. Walt Michaels, the head coach of the Jets. The score 20-14. The Jets are leading. 8 minutes to go in the game.
Throwing deep.
There he is. He's got him. Oh! And he couldn't hold on to it. Childs was out there. He claims he was interfered with.
Flag down on the play.
Flag down. That was a pump fake. A stop and go by Childs. The tight end. He stopped. Then, bang, he put it on again and got beyond the defender, but couldn't hold on to it.
Childs was split that time and working on Maresco, the young defensive back who was playing for the first time for the injured Ken Troy. He had him licked.
I think we have a legal chuck coming up here, Hank.
I think there was. There's Archie going back into the pocket, gives it the pump, does a good job of acting, throws the ball on top. We can't see the penalty, but Henry Childs had him licked.
Contact, number 37 on the defense. First down.
That's on Tim Maresco. Tim Maresco. And that gives the Saints an automatic first down on their own 45-yard line. They nearly had a touchdown, but not quite. Harris right, left, Chandler's to the right. On first down, Manning setting up. There's a little screen. That's the Galbraith, 45, 50, still going. And he's dropped to the 46-yard line. Abdul Salam took Tony Galbraith down. The play gained 9. New Orleans on the Jet 46. Second and 1, and we have a timeout as they attend the Jet player. 7 minutes, 34 seconds to go, and there's the score. Godfrey's in. Okay. That isn't a Beatles song, I know. Near You. Are you kidding? New Orleans Saints will go into their huddle with second down, 1 to go. They're trailing by 6. 7:34 to play. Richard Todd's 32-yard run put the Jets ahead.
Archie might do some of the play action pass on second and 1. It's a good waste down. Nope.
Galbraith still going at the 40. He runs it. There goes a flag down at the end of the run. 2 flags are dropped. Now, is it on the run, or did somebody grab his face mask?
I think it's a face mask. We'll see what he calls.
Personal foul, face mask, 54 defense, 5 yards and a first down.
That's called on Stan Blinka. You may get a look at it here, Hank.
Yeah, here, watch him go to the outside, fights his way through traffic, got the ball in the wrong arm. Now he switches it to protect himself. Blinka, number 54, makes the tackle, gets his hand on the face mask, evidently, and it's a first down for the New Orleans Saints.
The Saints have the ball in the Jet 31. Klecko's come back in the game. He was injured momentarily. Galbraith's average better than 5 yards of carries. 5 carries for 28 yards.
The best defense for him is to keep him on the bench.
Right, he's on the bench now. Rogers goes in. First down.
Look at the outside right.
Draw play. Rogers 30. Still going. 25. Dancing
He's
away,
gone.
20. Rogers is hit and then goes down on the 7-yard line. Jimmy Rogers runs from the 31 to the 7, a 24-yard sprint, and the Saints have a first and goal to go.
It looked like he was going to go all the way. It looked like a big play, and it looked like a possibility of going all the way. Good running on the part of Jimmy Rogers on a draw play. Here you see it. Watch the right tackle, Brock, turns out the defensive end very well. A missed tackle at the point of attack. Gastineau is chasing from the backside, but he makes a sizable gain. The ball's on a 7.
Maresco saved the touchdown momentarily. New Orleans ball, Jet 7, first and goal to go. 6:25 to play. 20-14 Jets. The draw again. And to the 6-yard line is Jimmy Rogers. He was hit behind the line that slowed his momentum. Second down, goal to go. They always talk about coming out with some kind of point, but they'll go for the touchdown here. There won't be any field goal, Hank.
Yeah, that's right. They've got to go for the touch.
Walt Michaels pacing those sidelines nervously. Second down, 6 to go for a Saint touchdown.
Got a bump and run on the right side. He might try to throw it up on top. Draw play again.
There goes Rogers,
Touchdown.
and he just tripped up short of the goal line by Lance Mill, who's made 2 fine tackles now in the open field.
From this angle, it looked like he was going in for the touchdown. Mill really came out of no place to make the tackle. Here it is again. Another good call by Archie Manning, really keeping the defense off balance. Another draw play. Look at Gastineau, wasn't even blocked. He goes way on the outside, and it looked like he was going in and was tripped up there. It's hard to tell who tripped him up. It was Blinka, I think, or Lance Mill.
Mel did it, and now Galbraith in the game. The other tight end is in there, Larry Hardy. 3rd and a yard to go for a Saint touchdown. They're behind by 6. And the score. Tony Galbraith scores. Galbraith goes over. The extra point can put the Saints ahead with 4:49 to play. Well, both teams on pressure drives. New Orleans took the kickoff on their 27 and marched it right down.
There's Galbraith coming over the top again. Evidently, he just touched the plane, and that's all he has to do for the touchdown. The official called it. And now it's 20-20.
Very important point by Ricardo. Tricky wind, 30 miles an hour in Shea Stadium. The kick is up, and the kick is good, and the Saints take the lead 21-20. Are 4 minutes and 49 seconds away from their first victory of the season. And we'll be back with an Orleans Saint kickoff with the score: New Orleans 21 and New York 20. We do have some Saint fans here today. Their team's ahead.
Boy, they're amazing, too. If there's any greater fans in the league than the New Orleans Saints fans, I don't know where they are.
Wesley Walker's back to receive this kickoff. Starting to snow in New York.
And this kickoff return and coverage will be vitally important. The Saints have to do a good job of getting the ball downfield and putting him in deep trouble from the field position standpoint. On the other hand, they got to get a good return. Bad kick.
Webb is picked up. That's the tight end, Vicky Schuler. And the Jets have excellent field position when they take over.
Well, that's murder. They gave him good field position the last time.
Twice in a row, Hank.
Yeah, on the 44 the last time, and now they get it on about the 46.
That's the New Orleans drive. Archie Manning took him 73 yards in 10 plays. Galbraith drove over for the score. The Jets, the last time they had the ball, put on a march to score. Jets ball under 47, first down.
And a lot of time left with 4:42.
Harper and Newton are the backs. Lamb Jones is in motion. Todd will go right to work. Flips it out.
No chance.
He is surrounded, and he is banged down for a loss. Bruce Harper hit by Tommy Hart.
Boy, Tommy Hart really played that very well, and also the linebacker on that side. There was a quick screen. Todd goes back into the pocket, looking right all the time, directed the traffic that way, and watch. There you see Alex Price and number 56. Reggie Mathis, all in a great position along with Jim Hart.
Well, they lost 8 yards in that play, a 2nd and 18. Now Todd will try and make it up. He throws down the middle. It's incomplete. Right by Wesley Walker, number 85. I don't know how that one got by him.
No, he whistled that one right into the area where you'd think he would catch it. I mentioned Jim Hart. It should have been Tommy Hart, number 53.
Let's take a look at this pass, Hank.
Yeah, watch. He goes back in the pocket. There's Derlin Moore, number 74, providing a rush. Hart comes inside. Looks like he might have lost sight of it because the defensive player got his hand in front of the ball, and I think he lost sight of the flight of the ball.
3rd and 18. 6 out of 21 for Todd today. Jets trailing by a point. They'll try and pick up the first down. They get to him, and they sack him. Ricardo dances up and down on the sideline. The Saints jumping like this is for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Lois Grooms makes the play, number 78. Good pressure.
On the 29, they have a 4th down and 28 to go.
Watch Lois Grooms, number 78. Alex Price is coming in the inside. Grooms is coming from the inside and then goes back outside and make the sack on Todd.
All right, punt formation, Chuck Ramsey. Dave Waymer is a safety man for the Saints. The first punt of the game for Ramsey.
That snap.
He gets it away, end over end. It's going to be short. Takes the bounce for the Jets and is going to be a good one. That winds up on the 20-yard line of the Saints. Now they have 3:17 to try and protect the 1-point lead for their first win of the year, and we'll be back. Both Bill. Tonight on CBS starts with 60 Minutes. Then watch your favorite entertainers risk their lives on the 5th annual Circus of the Stars. It's all tonight on CBS. The Saints have not had a turnover in the game. The Jets have had 3. But this is the time now the Saints cannot afford to come up with a turnover.
Yeah, they really have to suck it up right now, and they're in a good position with 3:17 left in the game to win their first game of the season.
They're on their own 20-yard line. They're in the I formation. They give the ball to Tony Galbraith. And Galbraith goes to the 26 for a 6-yard gain. Tim Moresco tackled him. Galbraith's been a key man in the second half, Hank.
Yeah, it's hard to understand why a player like that didn't play all season long, but he's such a great runner. And there's a great illustration. You know, he stretches those 2- and 3-yard gains into 6 and 7.
Look beyond. You're going to see a big black cloud coming in here. And it looks like a snowstorm right beyond the plane here at Shea Stadium. The wind is increasing in velocity. Snowflakes are spitting down. 2nd down 4 for New Orleans. 2:35 to play. The Saints ahead by a point. Again, Galbraith with the ball. Galbraith hanging on to it.
Look at that.
And he's through for a first down. A tremendous effort by Tony Galbraith. Come on, let's go, gang. Let's go. They want this one badly.
Yeah, they really do. And you have to really laud the effort on the part of both teams. If you're not careful, you know, because the records of the team, you automatically say that the teams don't try very hard and it's a bad game, but that's not the case. You have to forget what happened in the past. You're looking at a game today, and you have to, again, compliment both teams for the effort that they've expressed in this game today.
This is one of the best games we've had to do this year, Hank.
No question about it. No question about it.
Here's Manning coming over. The 2-minute warning with the score 21-20 in favor of New Orleans. We may not get out of town. Look at that. Oh. Yeah, I've seen it this bad here. Who's that? The NFL today, then followed by regional games, Green Bay at Detroit, Minnesota versus Houston, Washington, St. Louis. Next Sunday on the NFL today, followed by the second game of the doubleheader, Atlanta, L.A., Philadelphia, Dallas, both big ones. Will decide crowns. Right now, the wind swirling, tremendous clouds coming over here, a snowstorm. Look at the wind swirling around. There are 2 minutes to play, and the score is 21-20 in favor of New Orleans. And the Southern boys will have to be handling the ball in the cold and wind and snow.
Look at that guy with the T-shirt.
Eating an ice cream cone, maybe, or beer, I guess.
But he's got enough hair to keep him warm.
I think he's had enough to keep him warm.
Yeah.
He's well insulated. First down. Jack Holmes. Holmes brought down at the line of scrimmage by Abdul Salam. A timeout.
The Jets have to call timeout, and I think they did.
They have 2 left. Manning again to the sideline. With 1:54 to go, it is still 21-20 New Orleans. Going to shut LaGuardia down.
Kennedy, that's why I'm going to Kennedy. I anticipated that.
All right. Where do you go, to L.A. all night? What time do you get in?
7.
Oh, that's all right. That tells the story of the weather. It's been windy and cold all day, and suddenly the visibility has been shut down to about a quarter of a mile here. 35-mile-an-hour winds swirling the snow around. Second down, 9 to go for the Saints. Trying to hold on to a 1-point lead. Hang on to the ball, they say to Tony Galbraith, and he's tackled at the 36-yard line by Darrell Ray, the safety man. And again, the Jets have called time. They have one left now. It'll be third down and 8. New Orleans can freeze away about 40 seconds if they don't make the first down and they're forced to punt, which would give the Jets a minute to go.
I think they would call timeout again, Kurt. I think they have to call timeout. They can't take a chance of giving up that much time. They can control it with the incompleted passes and that kind of thing, but I think they definitely have to call timeout after this play if they don't make a lot of yardage.
The Saints need a first down. I was talking to one of the fans before the game. They said they thought the coach ought to call the plays for Archie Manning because he'd been around, maybe had a pattern that the other clubs knew about. Do you agree with that?
No, that's just a natural fan reaction when you lose. Archie does a great job of calling plays, keeps the defenses off balance, just like he has here this afternoon.
Third down 8, the crowd on his feet. You think this was for the Super Bowl. There it is to Galbraith. He's hit.
Call timeout.
32. Galbraith comes in and is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. It's fourth down and 13 to go. And the clock is moving. They'll take all the time they can now, the Saints.
He's been calling timeout. The official, I don't know why they haven't stopped the clock.
Now they stop it with 1:26 to go. And the Jets are saying we tried to call time.
But maybe he wasn't the designated captain. Only the captain can call timeout. Boy, it took him a long time to recognize the call.
Gave the Saints about 10 seconds or more time. That's the last timeout for the Jets. The last timeout. When they get the ball back, depending on what happens on this punt. Now remember, it's cold, it's windy. We have to have a snap. We have to have that ball handled by Erxleben. And this may be his most important punt of the 1980 season.
And one thing that's also a very important consideration, Erxleben has never kicked in this kind of weather since he's been a professional football player. Normally kicks inside, and that could have a strong bearing on how he kicks in this pressure situation with 1:26 left in the contest. In this kind of wind also, he has a tendency to kick the ball very high. It would be much better if he kicked it lower.
That's Saturday on CBS, the Bears in Tampa Bay. All right, here's Erxleben a punt now. There's the time in the upper right-hand corner.
See if they try to go after him.
They have 10 men on the line of scrimmage. They're going after him. But they get the block.
He kicked a low one.
A beauty over the head of Harper. Rolling deep. Harper takes it on the 16 to the 20. And they drop him on the 25. Saints, he got off a good low bullet kick over the head of Harper against the wind.
That's the kind of a kick he had to kick, and he did exactly that. A great pressure kick by Erxleben. Had to kick it lower than high because of the severe wind. And he kicked it out away from his body a little bit more, reach for it, and that's what we talked about earlier. Normally he kicks very close to his body.
The Jets have 1:14 to go. Erxleben criticized last year the lack of pressure. That was a pressure punt. Todd now throws the ball out to Lamb Jones. It's behind him. Second down 10. Dave Waymer covering Lamb Jones.
Did you see the way that ball sailed that time? It really took off and took a nosedive again because of that swirling wind.
The Jets 1 point behind, 75 yards away, or getting somewhere, maybe to kick a field goal. Passing's difficult. It's cold, it's windy, it's snowing, as you can see. See Todd come up with his hands stuffed in his jersey. The receivers will be bothered trying to catch the ball. Here's a second down play. This is lobbed to Newton, and he's dropped immediately on the 32. And they can't call time. They're out of timeouts. Getting up very slowly is Don Swartz, who made the hit. And they're arguing. They've stopped the clock with 54 seconds. Now it's moving again. It's down to 47. Todd throws out. It's over the head of the receiver, Bruce Harper, and they have a 4th down and 3 to go. 43 seconds remaining.
Tom Newton was wide open that time on the right side. He never looked in that direction at all. He might come back to him this time, but he was the guy that was open.
It'll be interesting to watch the reaction of the Saint players if they win.
Well, I think you'll find a very emotional reaction. They like Dick Stanfill very much. They're very involved in trying to win a game for him. And it'll be interesting to see what response we get after this game is over.
They need 3.5 yards. Here's the last down. They have the first down. Newton is hit down on the 40-yard line. The clock is moving. The Saints slowly going back. Clock now says 30 seconds. The Saints are getting back and lining up. The Jets have 25 seconds to pull it out. First down play.
There's Harper.
And there is Harper dancing around. He's getting away. They miss him. He's at the 50, the 45. He's still going. What a run by Harper.
They got to hurry up and line up and throw the ball out of bounds to stop the clock.
They're down
so
to
they can get it kicked.
To 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. It's all over. The Saints have won their first game of the year. Dick Stanfill, arms up there. The Saints, if they lost today, would have been the first team in the history of the NFL to ever lose 15 games in the year. 14 games without a win. As I said, you thought they'd won the big one. They'd won it all today, but that shows you how they wanted that win. And we talked about motivation. 2 teams, the 2 losingest clubs in the NFL, put on quite a show today for the fans here in a wild finish by Mother Nature.
Yes, is exactly right, and you have to compliment again both teams because they had nothing to play for except pride and to win a game this late in the season, but they played with a lot of animation, a lot of enthusiasm. The emotional level was very high, and of course it's a great win for the New Orleans Saints.
We're trying to get a guest down there on the field for you. Look at Stanfill, a replay. We finally did it. His team, this is the 3rd game he's coached. They lost that one in overtime last week and then came from behind. They were shut out by the Vikings and nearly pulled that one out. They were behind, I think, 23-0 and finally made it 23-20.
Yeah, no fairness to this team. Really, they had a chance to win a lot of games and they just lost some close ones, and that happens to you. But you have to compliment the way they played here this afternoon. It was a great win for the New Orleans Saints, and I know that their fans in Louisiana and Mississippi all over are very happy about the fact that they won their first game of the 1980 season.
All right, Archie Manning is ready downstairs. Archie, this is Curt Gowdy. I'm going to let your old coach talk to you, Hank Stram.
Archie, this got to mean an awful lot to all of you. It was a great effort. Nice going.
Well, thank you, Coach. It means an awful lot. We hadn't talked about it much, but you know what's been in the back of everybody's minds as the season grew on, that we were going to go through this thing without winning a football game. So we've come very close the last 2 weeks, a couple times early in the year, but especially the last 2 weeks. To finally get one today, I know it's just one, but it's a real good one for us. I'm glad we got it.
Well, anytime you win anytime, it's always a lot of fun, and this is a great win for all of you. And I thought you did a great job of changing the pace and calling plays this afternoon, Archie. The draws, the passes, the runs. I thought you did a splendid job.
Well, thank you. I like to mix it up like that, and they gave us some good things to do, and my people responded well. Tony came in. He's such a good guy to throw to, and Henry and the receivers, everybody just went together and hung tough. We could have folded it up as we have many times late, but I'm glad we won the game.
I was so happy to see Tony Galbraith run as well as he did. He provided a big spark and did a great job for you, didn't he?
He really did. Tony, out of the halfback position, I think he's a little happier there, and you can do so many things with him. I'd like to have him in there to run him, but especially throw the ball to him and let him break tackles.
Well, congratulations, Archie, and it's a great win for everybody. And I know everybody in New Orleans and the Louisiana area are very proud, and Mississippi very proud of the fact you finally won a game.
Get in there and get warm, Archie.
Okay.
All right.
Good luck.
Archie Manning took the team to the win today, their first win of the year. The final score, the Saints 21, the Jets 20, and we'll be back after this.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, guys. Worked out well. Okay. Then. Where are the Schwimps?
Whips.
Let's have the Schwimps.
What is that?
Digging up home plate. Or either guy's going to saw a hole in the ground and go fishing.
And what a wild finish to this one. Some of the fans are trying to get the turf out of Shea Stadium. 21-20. One human interest story to me in this game was the final punt by Erxleben, a line drive kick in a swirling snow and wind of 53 yards that went over the head of the safety man, Bruce Harper, and pinned the Jets back deep in their own territory. You know, the same man who was criticized last year.
Well, you know, the criticism is not really very important. The big thing is the fact that he made an adjustment, Kurt. He normally kicks the ball very close to his body and very high. In this particular situation, he reached a little bit, got it out in front, and got it way over the top of Harper, and that was really the big play of the game at that particular stage.
We said coming into the game, a team that had lost 14 in a row. The Jets had the lowest number of wins in the American Football Conference, and yet they put on one of the best shows that we've had this year. All right, here's the final. No, it's not a final. The Eagles are leading the Cardinals. That's now 10-3 in the fourth quarter. And if the Eagles win that one, then they will go to Dallas next week with only 3 wins, and the Cowboys are playing Monday night, and if they beat the Rams, they would have only 3 losses. I said 3 wins, 3 losses.
And the Cards went into the game with the thought that they probably wouldn't have Jim Hart.
Look at this. Now, this has probably been the best come-from-behind team, second-half team in pro football this year. Atlanta 35-3, leading the 49ers in the fourth period.
We haven't seen them all year long, but they must be for real. They've had a sensational season, and congratulations to Lehman Bennett and his great staff.
If they win that one, they clinched their divisional crown because they were 2 games ahead of the Rams. This was a win that the Patriots need desperately, or it was all over for them. It still could be, but they've got the Bills 24-2 in the fourth period. Ferguson had a badly sprained ankle early in the game. That means that the Patriots would be 1 game behind, and the Bills would have to win their last game if the Patriots win their last game. Houston, right in there in the picture in the playoffs against Green Bay today in the fourth quarter. Houston is on top, 16-3. By the way, the AFC has dominated all the interconference games today except the one by the Saints, and they've won it here in this interconference first final score. That game's been sort of a field goal battle. And we have Kansas City at Pittsburgh. The Steelers dropped behind Kansas City 16-7, have rallied on Bradshaw pass to Bell, an 11-yard run by Rocky Bleier, who's playing his last year.
And they still have an outside chance of being a wild card team, Kurt, and so they're going to play tough, I'm sure, next week against San Diego.
14-7, Bengals ahead in the third quarter over the Chicago Bears. And one other score for you. The Vikings and Cleveland. That's an important game for both clubs. And Cleveland is leading the Vikings 23-15. If the Vikings do not rally and Detroit wins its game today against Tampa Bay, they would be tied for the lead going to the last weekend of the season. That would be, and that's the game we're going to do out there, the Lions, next week.
Yes, and Cleveland really has done a remarkable job. They've done a good job offensively, but they've come on like gangbusters from a defensive standpoint.
All right, there's the final score. We'll be back. Card 11. A really big chance here reading card 11, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't take these fans long to head for the fireplaces. I never saw a stadium empty as quickly as this one. 21-20, the final score, and the big story around the NFL today is the Saints won their first game of the year. They had some boosters here, the Saint Booster Club. Those are the fans and the players, as we said, with the thought, when the final score in, they had just won the championship. There's the coach, Dick Stanfill, at the final gun. They have won their first game, and look at the Saint players. We talked earlier about the Saints. They get the first pick of the draft. There's a lot of talk about what they'll do. Will they take George Rogers or what will happen? Dick Steinberg is conducting a draft, formerly the Rams. He hasn't missed much in the last 3 or 4 years. Or will they trade? What do you think, Hank?
Oh, it's hard to tell what they'll do really at this stage. Kurt, there's a long time to go. The draft isn't until May. But I think they're going to do whatever they have to do to help their football team and make them a better club.
They get 2 number 2s, 2 number 3s, and they have a chance to help their club if they get some good picks. The executive producer has been Charles H. Milton III. Been produced by William C. Barnes, better known as Bill, and directed by Andy Kindle. Some of the rest of the men who made today's associate producer, Joan Vetrano, who made the telecast for you today. So Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram, and especially all you folks down there in the Bayou area, a very happy holidays to you. The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
Months. These two teams don't like one another. They never have. They present about as good a matchup as you can have in the National Football League. It's like Houston against Pittsburgh. And we look for a dilly tonight. The Rams, as you know, must win tonight from their point of view. If they can, you know what it means. But they've got injuries. Here's the Giffer to tell you about them.
You're absolutely right, Howard. We should have a beauty tonight. These teams have met 5 times in the last 7 years in the playoffs. But for the Rams tonight, you could call it the Blue Cross Bowl because they are really hurting. The question for Ray Malavasi, do you keep some of your players out and try to beat Dallas tonight, or rather Atlanta next week, or do you go all out tonight to beat Dallas? Because they got to win one of these games, or Detroit could slide in by beating Green Bay next Sunday. The Rams on their left side are really hurting. Jim Youngblood, a left linebacker, he's questionable. Pat Thomas is not even suited up. They find defensive left cornerback. Fred Dreyer is hurting, and you know that they have also lost Elvis Peacock, their fine running back. Wendell Tyler's not available, and well, I'm glad I'm not Ray Malavasi. He's got a problem.
You present a gloomy pregame picture for the Rams. On the other side of the coin, the newly bearded one and a former Cowboy ready to tell you about the likes of Dorsett and some of the others. Don Meredith.
Thank you. I think that's one of the keys. This year when we started, the Cowboys said, hey, we're going to rebuild. We've got 2 major areas of concern now that Staubach is not here. We're going to shore up that defense. So Tom Landry goes back to the defense. We're going to try to emphasize the running game. Well, Dorsett's record to me really is impressive when you think you go all the way back into high school, and every year